what is Discovery Channel looking for? I'm going to get right to it, and then I'm going to talk about why that's interesting for you as a writer. So they're looking for wacky subcultures and wacky businesses. If you're not that familiar with Discovery, it's worth checking out. Maybe you are watching it a lot. I think their top show is Top Gear, so it's a car show. Discovery also has Moonshiners, Sewer Divers, Strange Evidence, BattleBots, Gold Rush, Auction Kings, Flying Wild Alaska. So they work in all the spaces of nature, space, science, motor, and others. And the reason I'm saying this is so interesting, and it's worth taking a look, is because story is everywhere. They also have on How the Universe Works, and then on Discovery Plus they have those other shows like the Travel Channel and the Food Network with shows like Bizarre Foods and Ace of Cakes. The reason I'm bringing this up is to tell you that there's story in everything. So maybe you're working on some very tough pitch or serious life story, something you've experienced yourself or someone else's, and you may think, maybe take a break. Maybe there's something fun. Maybe you love to cook. Maybe you have other aspects of your personality you'd like to explore. Well, if you research a wacky business and it resonates for you, Discovery would be the place to take the pitch. And like other pitches, you're going to need a visual presentation, you're going to need a deck, you're going to need the Bible if it's necessary for what that show is. For live characters, of course, you're going to need to capture the live characters. But you can do it with your iPhone. It doesn't have to be something that you spend a lot of money on. And particularly for those of you out there that are not necessarily in the big cities, like LA, New York, or Chicago, they're looking for businesses and things that they may not have heard of, which in your hometown are typical, but to the rest of the country are unique. Now, to sell your project, if you don't have a background in producing, you'll probably need to join forces then with the production entity who makes the kind of show that you want to pitch. So you would prepare your pitch to that production entity. And to discover who those entities are, the best thing is go to Discovery, watch the shows, look at the credits. You can also Google things and the credits will pop up as well. But I think this is fun. I've often pitched shows to Discovery and to nonfiction channels. I like nonfiction. I think a lot of people have that side to them where they have a nonfiction thing they love. I've been successful with nonfiction documentaries. Now, I think right now Discovery is looking for series, not necessarily one-offs. A one-off meaning a documentary they would like a series. But put these thoughts in your mind, and it might be kind of a fun, light project to develop that isn't as emotionally taxing as maybe some of the other projects you're working on. Now, again, I don't mean to oversimplify that. When it comes to a pitch and a storyline, that's going to have to be just as well crafted as anything that you're going to do with characters that you're creating in your mind. So I'm not saying that it's necessarily easy, but it might feel emotionally light. It's fun to talk about food. It's fun to talk about travel. I love Duck Dynasty. I mean, it's fun to look at people and these subcultures. And the characters are true to life, and they're fascinating. So I've often thought it fun in that a couple of friends of ours that are PhDs and professors, it amazes me, even though they're these intellectuals, what shows they watch when they're just looking for fun. I think all of us are moved by character and that heart connection.